Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
After sweeping the Mariners over the weekend, the Angels have won 5 in a row with the passion and emotion usually seen in October. Now with only 7 games left to play, each one more crucial than the next, the Halos' hard charge towards the playoffs continues. Athletics and Angels, next. Very nice sweep of the Seattle Mariners over the weekend, and tonight the Angels welcome in their division rival, the Oakland Athletics, for the first of a 3-game set, and the Angels all of a sudden knocking on the door on the Western Division. We look at the standings. The Angels with the victory yesterday and Texas' loss now find themselves 3 games back of the Texas Rangers. Texas currently losing to the Tigers in Arlington, and the Halos remain a half game back of the Houston Astros. They are starting tonight a series up in Seattle. We welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. And the one thing we have seen over the last week or thereabouts is a little more, excitement, if you will. Maybe that has something to do with David Freese starting to swing the bat well. Some of it partly has to do with Johnny Givitello and his attitude on the field.
Yeah, Victor, some energy and power. And take a look at our tools of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. You're going to see that energy that Johnny Givitello brings. He had a triple the day before, head first slide yesterday. A hustle double. This base hit is to center field. He looks and sees what the center fielder is doing, then he decides to go in, slides in there head first, pumps up his teammates. He's right away to get things going. C.J. Cron, boys, he crushed the ball. Back-to-back games where he hit the home runs to dead center field. The swing he's been able to get going here, and especially you're going to see him going down in Texas, which is a good thing too. And David Freese, Mr. October, dealing in September once again. That batting average well over 300. Back-to-back games, dead center field. The swing is there for David Freese. They need him in these big moments. He loves being in these big moments. I'm looking forward to him having some good swings here tonight against Dubron.
Yeah, Felix Dubron, the left-hander on the mound for the Oakland Athletics. Mike Scioscia hands the ball off to the lefty himself. Hector Santiago on the mound for the Angels as we get ready for Game 1 of this 3-game set against the Oakland A's. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Angels Baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. Taste the Homestyle Ranch Chicken Club today, only at Jack in the Box. By the Palazzo Las Vegas, where every key unlocks a suite. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. The Angels not wasting any time, wanting to get this one started and trying to make it 6 consecutive victories as they get ready to take on the Oakland A's. And we'll take a look at Bob Melvin's starting lineup for the Athletics. Game number 157 for them. They come into this one with a 65 and 91 record. It's Burns leading things off at center. Mark Canha, the Rule 5 pick at first. Brett Laurie at second. Danny Valencia at third. Billy Butler, the DH. Jake Smolinski in left field. Marcus Semien as the shortstop. Craig Gentry gets a start out in right field. And Brian Anderson batting ninth and doing the catching as they take on Hector Santiago, making his 31st start of the season. He's 9-9 with a 3.47 ERA.
He's throwing the ball pretty well in his career versus the A's. 3-3 with an ERA under 3 for Hector. But my keys for him, my go-tos, has to be get ahead of the count. When he's ahead of the count, hitters only hitting .214 against him. Behind in the count, though, .266. Especially a lot of that has been in the second half.
First one tonight is bounced past David Freese. One pitch and a leadoff single for the speedy Billy Burns. Check out the Angels defensively tonight. Shane Victorino's in left field. Mike Trout at center. Cole Calhoun in right. The infield with David Freese and Eric Ibar on the left side. Johnny Giavatello, TJ Cron on the right, and Chris Sinetta behind the plate.
Johnny Giavatello getting that start out at second base. Has been very solid since coming back from the disabled list. Look at his first 79 games, 8 errors. The fielding percentage is .974, but his last 42 games, 3 errors at .985 fielding percentage for Giavatello.
You got to pay attention to Burns over at first base. 26 stolen bases. Has been caught 8 times as Mark Canha looks at a strike. Rule 5 selection this year. He's been in the big leagues all season long. He's hitting .254, 15 home runs, and 68 runs batted in. The first several games, first several series that these two teams met in. Canha spent a lot of time in left field, but lately playing first. Hector's last start against Oakland was on August 31st. Took the loss, gave up 5 runs on 4 hits and 2 2/3 innings. There's 71 pitches in those frames. That's up and in. That hit him. So the first 2 now have reached. A single and a hit by pitch. Here comes Brett Laurie.
And going up and in, a lot of fastballs you'll see from Hector Santiago are up and in. See where exactly this got Canha. Not so sure that got him in the elbow or anything.
Maybe the jersey. Looked like it, a little fluttering there on the elbow pad, I thought. No argument from the Angels. If I'm not mistaken, that's something that can be reviewed.
One thing Hector has not gotten a lot of this season, it's ground ball double plays, is 3. He would love one right now.
Free swinger here in Brett Laurie. Burns at second, Canha at first. Bounce this one to short. Ibar comes in, feeds Giavatello for 1. The relay back to first, not in time. Not hit hard enough. So they get the out at second base, and the A's have runners at the corners now for Valencia.
Brett Laurie runs real well. That's a quick throw and turn, especially for Eric Ibar. You see him just barely beating that one out. How quickly Eric got rid of that baseball and a quick turn and a takeout by Canha on Giavatello. That hard slide right in the shin area. When you catch that baseball as a second baseman, you're in front of the base. You put yourself in that position.
First one is outside to Valencia, the third baseman, hitting .295, 16 home runs, and 61 runs batted in. He's playing his 42nd game with Oakland. Started the season with the Blue Jays. Evens counted 1-1. He's grounded into 13 double plays this year. Burns a leadoff single on the very first pitch of the game. Canha hit by a pitch, and now Laurie reaching on the fielder's choice. So 1 out.
And Valencia 5 for 11 in his career versus Santiago. Pretty good numbers.
Two balls, 1 strike. Halos are 9-7 against Oakland this year. Oakland has struggled this month. They are 7-17 in the month of September. Angels with the win and the sweep over Seattle now find themselves at 16-8 in September. Valencia swinging a miss, 2-2.
Hector with 153 strikeouts in 171 innings pitched this year. Would love to get one right now.
Billy Butler is on deck. I'll throw over to first. Check on Laurie. Brett with 5 stolen bases this year has been caught twice. Oakland 8th overall in the American League. 78 stolen bases. Led, of course, by Burns' 26. Two. Punch foul. That went into the camera well. So that didn't get John Cordes. The photographer has been around here for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah. Minnesota defeating Cleveland tonight 4-2. Since 2 victories against Cleveland for the Minnesota Twins. They've now won 3 straight.
That was against Kluber today.
Twins a game behind the Angels. Full count. Figure Brett Laurie might be on the move here.
And that's a sign from Mike Scioscia. There's a couple different options as you have as a catcher now. Throw straight through, fake throw, and then throw back to third base, or not throw it at all. There's some options in case of a swing and miss.
Laurie doesn't go. 3-2 upstairs, and he walked him. So the bases are loaded now. The last 2 pitches nowhere near the zone. And now Billy Butler coming up. Butler certainly a double play candidate. He's rolled into 26 this year. Butler, .252 average, 15 home runs, 65 runs batted in his first season with Oakland. Tops this with foul. No balls and 1 strike. Butler 4 for 16 in his career against Hector Santiago with a home run.
Well, you'll love to see him hit a ground ball at an infielder.
Astros have taken a 1-0 lead on a George Springer home run. That's in Seattle. 0-1 pitch. That's out toward right center field. Not very deep. Trout has to race in. He'll come in and make the catch. Burns tagging. Here comes the throw from Trout. It's up the line. They got Burns in a rundown. Freeze drops the baseball. Ibar throws it home. Covering is Cron, and he drops the ball. Unbelievable. It's 1-0 Oakland. They had a double play to get out of it. Iannetta double pumped a couple of times and threw a rocket to Freeze. He couldn't handle it. And then Ibar threw a rocket to Cron, and CJ unable to handle it.
In a rundown, always the goal and the key is being under control. Nice play by Trout and a good firm throw to the plate. And too low and hard of a throw. Again, whenever you have that throw, when you're going in a rundown, when you pump with your arm up like that, it's always going to be a bad thing. Get rid of it right away. You have a chance, and then that double pump, when you have that low throw, it's very difficult to see that, but backed up very well by Eric Ibar, and then C.J. Cron unable to catch that throw from Eric Ibar. Certainly going to be out at the plate if you hold on to the baseball.
Yeah, never caught the ball. So it's 1-0 Oakland, 2 outs. The first one misses down low. They basically had Burns out 3 times.
Really surprised he stopped.
Brett Laurie at second base, Valencia at first. Smolinski, the left fielder, takes upstairs, 2-0. Hector's got to start to throw strikes. No need to talk about the bullpen and how overused it's been. Got used yesterday with Weaver having to be taken out of the game after 5 innings with tightness in his shoulder. No RBI for Butler. But there is an error on C.J. Cron. C.J.'s 5th. 2-0 now. Big rip on a high fastball.
So important now for Hector just to limit the damage right there. Yes, the play was not made. But your job as a pitcher at this moment is to pick up your teammates.
Missed in off the plate, 3-1. Pulled foul. Full count. Runners will get a head start now with 2 outs. Brett Laurie from second, Valencia from first, getting the head start here. The runners go 3-2, and he walked him. So another walk. They go with a hit batter and a single. They're loaded up.
Especially for a guy that really is good with pitches elevated inner half of the plate. And Simeon. Tough matchup now for Hector Santiago as Mike Butcher's going to go out and have a quick conversation. "19 pitches thrown, 10 in the strike zone, 9 out of the strike zone."
Halos have already spotted the A's a 1-0 lead. Here's Simeon with the bases loaded. Hector's going to work from the windup. Simeon hitting .256. 13 home runs, and he takes ball 1. Oakland came into tonight's action hitting .252. They've done that against lefties and righties. There's a strike. Mark Carlson calling the balls and strikes. Trip Gibson at first, Chris Guccione at second, and Brian Gorman, the crew chief, at third. Umpire crew for this series. 1-1. That's a strike. 1-2. Arnetta had to reach back, but it was in the zone.
Yeah, perfect spot if he wanted to throw it on that part of the plate. Outside corner.
So you got the strike, but you missed the location.
Exactly.
Here's the 1-2. Just below the strike zone. 2-2.
And this is a pitch just below. Chris Iannetta tried to bring it back up in the strike zone, but you just got to leave it right there. Make the umpire think you hit a spot.
Simeon drives one out to center. Trout racing back, curls around to his left, makes the catch on the run, and the inning is over. Somehow, miraculously, the A's only get one. We'll head to the bottom of the first with the Angels trailing it. Socials lineup for the Angels at 81 and 74 in the midst of a 5-game winning streak. Have Ibar leading things off at short. Cole Calhoun at right. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols, the cleanup hitter, at DH. C.J. Cron in first base. At first base, I should say. David Freese at third. Shane Victorino tonight at left field. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Johnny Giavotella batting ninth, playing second base as they take on the 27-year-old left-hander, native of Puerto Cabello, Venezuela. His name is Felix Doubront.
Doubront fastball is 89-93. Cut fastball, curveball, changeup. My go-tos to be successful against Doubront. His patience at the plate. Get yourself into good hitters' counts. He will make some mistakes. And right-handed success. Right-handed batters. 322 this season against him, including 8 home runs. He's given up 9 home runs this season in his 68 and a third innings pitched.
He was purchased from the Toronto Blue Jays on July 31st. So like Valencia was with Toronto in the first half of the season. He's made one start against the Angels. Went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs on 7 hits. Eric Ibar hitting .269, 2 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Swings for his pitch and drives one down the left field line toward the foul pole, and this one hooks out of play. Right size, wrong shape.
Oh, it's a pretty good carry once again. We've seen that quite a bit in this homestand.
Another warm night. Now a bunt right back to the mound. 1 out. Check out the A's defensively. Smolenski, Burns, and Gentry in the outfield from left to right. Valencia, Simeon, Lowry, and Kenna from third to first. Anderson behind the plate.
Simeon, who really has improved at that shortstop position, especially working a lot with Ron Washington. His last 61 games is 6 errors. Solid fielding percentage. First 86, so 28 errors. Very good arm. Getting better and better as far as that position with the footwork, working with Ron Washington.
And combined between the shortstop second base position, you got 58 errors. 58 of 118 errors committed by Oakland this year. As Calhoun steps in, and of course, Brett Lowry started at third this year. Cole, .262, 24 home runs, 80 runs batted in. Picked up his 80th yesterday. An 8th inning at bat of Carson Smith. Proved to be the game winner as he cuts through this one. Evens a count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Brought originally with the Boston Red Sox. Signed with them back in 2005. It got to the big leagues for the first time in 2010. Ended up with the Cubs midway through 2014. And signed with Toronto. 1-2.
Perfect view there to a baseball game and enjoy a meal.
Three infielders on the right side with Calhoun at the plate. Going back outside. Cole lifts one out to shallow left. Smolinski with a long run in. Danny Valencia goes into the slide. He doesn't make the play. He kind of hesitated, maybe thinking that Smolinski was going to call him off the last second.
He was waiting for it at some point. Long way to go. The shift on. He looked up at the last second to see where Smolinski was. See him look right there.
Yeah.
Smolinski, a lot of time you'll see a left fielder come sliding in that same area.
Another 1-2 pitch. Cole strikes out, swinging 2 down.
Monday key for this game for the Angels to be successful against DuBront. A little Drake right hand. We talked about the right-handed batter's success against him this year. A lot of power numbers, especially when you look at the right-handed power that the Angels have, especially coming up here against DuBront. Chance to get right back and score some runs here with that power swing.
Not a whole lot of experience against DuBront. Most at bats is 8, and that's Ibar and Inetta. Pujols and Trout was 7. Mike takes low. 297 on the season, 40 home runs, 88 RBIs. 1 for 4 yesterday with a single.
Pretty good pitch to do some damage on. Just a little late on it. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Burns in center field playing Trout to hit the ball the other way, shading towards right center field. A lot of room in left center field.
The one game that DuBront faced the Angels was on August 31st, same game that Santiago started against Oakland. Ended up picking up the win, even though he gave up 4 runs. He struck out 5, walked 4 in that one. That was at the Coliseum. 2-1. Detroit leading Texas 7-1. It's a 3-game series for the Rangers at home. That game's in the bottom of the 6th inning. Verlander got the start against Colby Lewis. Houston leading Seattle 2-0 in the first. Caught the corner, 2-2. And we mentioned Minnesota. It's already defeated Cleveland. Trout just got a piece of it, keeps his at-bat alive. Albert on deck. An unusual run scored for the Oakland A's in the first inning. Unfortunately for the Angels, that's all that came across. An erratic inning for Hector Santiago. And easily could have been no runs. It should have been no runs.
It's a real tough play for Freese at third base. That
Absolutely.
ball was a tough throw at him.
Two now. Down low. Full count.
I'm going to try and teach high school kids when those rundowns, when you run with your arm up like they were doing there with Inett, it's a very difficult throw because when you step, that forces movement in your arm, and it did that, and he threw a low throw right at David Freese. You want to make sure you eliminate all that movement in your throwing arm and get rid of it quickly.
There's ball 4. Borderline pitch. It goes Trout's way, so a 2-out walk gives Albert an opportunity here in the first. A little tighter zone than what we saw over the weekend. Pretty much all 3 umpires behind the plate this weekend had generous strike zones.
Yeah, they were calling some strikes.
but not a whole lot of argument from guys.
No, there were strikes being called
on both sides, where you run the risk of getting in trouble as far as players getting upset is where you think you've hit your zone. Doesn't get called one time and it gets called another time. Albert takes the breaking ball low. Pujols 2 for 7 against Dubron. On the year, 237. Albert went 0 for 4 yesterday as the Angels had 9 hits in the finale of that 3-game series against Seattle. Dubron's 15th appearance, 12th start of the year. 22 walks, 51 strikeouts, 68 in the 3rd innings.
Good count for Albert. This is looking for a zone to do some damage. Don't help out Dubron.
A little overthrown fastball there.
Wasn't committed to throwing that fastball inside. That's the product of an overthrown fastball. When you're going inside on a 2-0 pitch, that's exactly where most power hitters are looking. He wasn't fully committed to throwing that pitch inside. Gotta believe Albert has the green light here. Now again, look for a pitch you can drive. Don't help out the pitcher by swinging something out of the zone.
Bouncer right back to the mound. Inning is over. The Angels leave a man on base. We'll head to the second with Oakland up 1-0.
News from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Dodgers trying to close out the NL West tonight up in San Francisco. Cleveland tried to stay alive in this race, but Minnesota dealing against them today.
8-9-1 for Oakland. Gentry, Anderson, and Burns. Hector falls behind. 1 ball, no strikes on Gentry, getting the start in right. Fouls this one off. Evens the count at 1-1. Gentry 4 for 43 this year. 1 triple, 3 runs batted in. A lot of speed. Former Ranger. This one towards second. Giavatello with a diving stop. Slow throw dug out by C.J. Cron, and there's the first down. Nice play by Johnny.
Well, we talked about the energy he provides at the bat in the opening today, but the defense, the range he's been showing since coming back, also that prep step allows him to get in position to dive and make this play. Low throw scooped well by C.J. Cron. Johnny Giavotella, that energy, loves getting that uniform dirty. Outstanding play by Johnny G.
Anderson takes a breaking ball that misses. The guy net was crossed up there. First plate appearance for Anderson. Takes a strike. Got the old Josh Reddick look going. Reddick not in the lineup tonight.
Remember him well, Anderson, when he played at Simi Valley High School for their baseball team. Not quite that long of hair at that point, though.
No, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hit 202 at AAA Nashville this year. It had a better run in August and September. Selected from AAA on September 20th. It's downward foul. Count remains. 2 balls, 2 strikes. First time he has started a game behind the plate at the major league level since September 26, 2013 against Kansas City, and that was as a member of the White Sox. Lifts this one out to left. Droughts. Well, here comes Burns, who swung at the first pitch of the game and singled to left and eventually scored. It's done a nice job for Oakland. 327 from the right side, 284 from the left as he takes upstairs. Better location there.
Again, the follow-through is so important for Hector sometimes. When he releases the baseball, he recoils, doesn't bend his back, elevates his fastball.
One and two. Good fastball, good location now and found it in the seats. The count remains at 1 and 2. Houston scored twice in the top of the first. Seattle got one back. They begin the second with the Astros up 2-1. Tigers are batting in the 7th, up 7-1 over the Rangers. Another foul back.
Pretty close to the same spot.
Just to the right a couple of seats. Santiago trying to complete a 1-2-3 inning. Issued a couple of walks and a hit batter the first. Missed outside.
Tried to backdoor that slider or cut fastball.
Burns goes down swinging, and it is a 1-2-3 inning. Hector picks up his first strikeout. We head to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Oakland.
2 on her first pitch is thrown. Run by Candace Parker. The LA Sparks. Ryan Getzlaf. Your Anaheim Ducks. Wow, Getzlaf had a pretty good sing piece there.
Yeah.
Maybe threw a split finger fastball. Ducks season right around the corner. Candace Parker, an excellent basketball player for the Sparks.
Crone, Freese, and Victorino for the Angels here in the second. CJ, 266, 16 home runs, 49 runs batted in. One for 3 yesterday. Takes low.
Talk about a swing path and a perfect pitch. Be able to drive with DuBron. When he throws that breaker ball down and in towards CJ Crone, it goes right into his power swing.
Ball's behind here, 3 balls and a strike. Crone 1 for 3 against DuBron.
And DuBron, when he's in these 3-1 counts, hitters, 571 against him this year when they were making contact. 3-1. That almost went up a little bit.
Fly right there.
So that's a perfect swing when you're ahead of the count. You fought yourself as a hitter to get into one of those counts to get a fastball. And this is the type of swing you want. It's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball down the heart of the plate, and he fouled that one straight back.
3-2 now. Crone lines one to left center field, a base hit. Burns over to cut it off. First hit for the Angels, and it'll bring up Freese. Fans joining the Angels in Tempe, Arizona next spring with a 2016 Angels official spring training package. Package includes game tickets, hotel accommodations, merchandise, and an exclusive barbecue with Angels players and coaches. Call 800-8-WARM-UP to reserve your package today. This one out of play for strike 1. Freese 1 for 3 yesterday. Here's 1. A home run. Back-to-back days for him with home runs. He's got 13 on the year now.
Yeah, when Seattle was successful against him, a lot of pitches down and in. Off speed down and in. Anything away, he has hit extremely hard the other way to center field.
Good off-speed pitch. Had David out in front.
Well, he was leaning there. Good throw, might have gotten him.
Where's he going? Feel free to drop anchor with an 0-2 count.
Maybe that secondary lead anticipating a breaking ball in the dirt to advance.
Sure.
On the wild pitch. This try.
He fouls it off. Count remains at 0-2. 3-game series, 2 night games today and tomorrow. 4:05 start Wednesday. And the Angels will jump on the charter, head to North Texas. Should get in about 1:30, 2 a.m. on Thursday morning, then start a 4-game series Thursday night. Pretty little tap and foul at the plate.
It's Barry Zito in the dugout. I was watching him throw a bullpen session earlier today coming into the ballpark.
He'll get the start on Wednesday in place of Sonny Gray, dealing with a hip injury. So Gray will be shut down the rest of the way.
That's Cy Young back in 2002, a very good season for the Angels. That year the Angels came in as a wild card team.
Freese fouls that one in and out of the glove of Anderson. Keeps his at bat alive. for the first. That fooled Canna as well. Canna was coming off the bag.
Leaning that quick throw. He was ready to get himself in position to feel the ground ball.
Another 0-2. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Shane Victorino's on deck. Oakland getting a run at the top of the first.
It's almost mandatory for Oakland catchers to have that long hair. Remember Derek Norris catching for Oakland with the long hair behind the plate. It's a mandatory thing, I think.
Yeah.
With Anderson now.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a pretty good pitch.
Channeling not only Josh Reddick, Derek Norris.
Lower part of the strike zone. Change up. You brought one at that pitch. See if Freese can capitalize on that pitch not being called a strike.
Freese goes down swinging. 1 away. Second strikeout for DeBron.
Exactly the pitches where he struggled against Seattle. Those off-speed pitches downstairs. He'll stay down there, almost the exact same spot, just a little bit lower. But out in front, could not make contact, tried to punch that ball to right field, but a swing and miss for Freese.
Victorino, the starting left fielder tonight. 226, a home run and 6 runs batted in. 3 doubles, 2 triples. He will look at a strike.
Victorino 2 for 3 against DeBron.
This one's pulled right to third. Crone, where he was going, that ball was right to the third baseman. Valencia turns into a double play. We'll head to the third. 1-0 Oakland. And an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Oakland's up 1-0. Top of the third, they'll set up Canna, Laurie, and Valencia. Mr. Santiago with a 1-2-3 second inning. Also picked up his first strikeout. See what he does here in the third. Canna hit by a pitch, so no official at bat for him. 22 doubles, 2 triples to go along with those 15 home runs for Canada. Pretty good season for a Rule 5 selection. Down low, 1-1.
Very good power, swings extremely hard, but behind the count, though, he's pretty good as far as trying to shorten up his swing and hit the ball the other way.
That of Cal Berkeley. Teammates with Marcus Semien, the A's shortstop at college. 1-2.
Has that big leg kick. You know, a lot of times when you're a hitter, that leg kick, you want to get that foot down before you follow through with your swing. Sometimes with that type of movement, you're susceptible to fastballs up and in.
Brett Laurie on deck. 1-2 from Santiago. Missed in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two now. Hannah lifts one out toward right. Not very deep. Cole comes in. 1 down.
You see this with Canada trying to get that timing mechanism as far as getting his leg down. Pretty high leg kick, getting that foot down and then clearing that swing path. It's still susceptible to being jammed with fastballs. Even though that was on the outer half of the plate, it was upstairs at 92. He wants that pitch on the lower part of the strike zone to be able to get his arms extended with his swing and the way he has that leg kick and getting that foot down. When you look at Cole Calhoun, he actually has his foot down and then the swing path for him. Trout, once they almost had the exact same time, the foot down and getting that bat through the zone. It's all about that timing mechanism for hitters.
1-1. Brett Laurie 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice in the first. First season with Oakland, part of that Josh Donaldson trade. 2 balls and a strike. Borderline pitch there. That trade certainly has worked out for Toronto.
You think?
Three and 1.
Josh Donaldson with a walk-off home run yesterday. His 6th walk-off home run in the last 2 seasons.
Full count. That's one of the things you could do with Laurie, regardless of the count, especially if he's got a hitter's count, he'll expand his own zone.
He's pretty good on the high fastball. That was just above the letters. You can get him out on that pitch.
There's that.
See that one? He's on that when it's in the strike zone.
Got him swinging on a high fastball, went away. And again, a mislocation. You get the strikeout, but watch where Chris Iannetta's set up here.
Yeah, this pitch is up and out of the strike zone. A little bit further down like he had the pitch before. He fell that one straight back. Couldn't quite get his hands up to make contact. Hector's done a very good job as far as his ERA in home games. Dallas Keuchel has had an unbelievable season at home. Ramirez, 2.39. Both those ballparks are not necessarily pitcher's yards. Dallas Keuchel 15-0 with an ERA under 1.5 in that ballpark.
Not too shabby. Be difficult to top that. Unless it takes inside. 2-0 now.
And that's when you look at pitchers' ERAs like Jake Arrieta for the Chicago Cubs. His ERA of the season 1.82. He's been pitching a majority of his games in Wrigley Field, which is certainly not a hitter's ball. I mean, a pitcher's ballpark. That makes his season even more impressive.
Pulled over to third, 1 hop smash to David Freese. second consecutive 1-2-3 inning for Santiago. Head to the bottom of the third. Ionetta, Giavotella, and Ibar coming up down 1-0. Will take place April 9th, 2016. Mark your calendars. First 5,000 registered participants will receive a t-shirt, commemorative medal, and a 2016 game ticket. Proceeds from the event will benefit the Angels Baseball Foundation. Registration will open in November. More info, just go to angels.com/5K. You running the 5K?
Yes, I'm loosening up.
Chris Ionetta fouls the first pitch back, and it's an 0-1 count. Ionetta, Giavotella, and Ibar. Chris hitting 188, 10 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Two strikeouts, one walk, one hit allowed for DeBron. 2-1.
Looks to be his go-to pitch is that all-speed pitch just a little bit below the knees. If you can lay off that pitch, bring him up in the strike zone, that's when you can square up the baseball.
Almost pulled the trigger on it. That was a strike. Didn't go. That ball was in the strike zone.
Got quite a bit of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't swing at it, but that was a strike.
That pitch was in the strike zone as far as Fox Tracks is concerned. I had accused that would foul. 93-mile-per-hour fastball off the end of the bat.
Rivals. Angels A's. It's been that way for a long, long time. Going back to 2002. Some pretty good battles between these two teams. Division titles won, a ton of them.
And Chris works the walk. Second free pass issued by Felix DeBron. Second straight inning, the Angels have had their leadoff man reach.
How tight this series has been since 2002. 134 wins for the Angels, 131 for the A's. How many games have been decided by one or two runs? Of those 265, 49%. These two teams have combined to win 11 of the last 13 AL West titles.
Giavotella hitting .269, 3 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Johnny Esser 1 for 2. Picked up a double, and that was leading off the 8th inning. That just scored the winning run. Calhoun single. 41 pitches for DeBron. 24 have been strikes. Pretty good return to the lineup for Johnny Giavotella. 2-hit game Friday with the triple, 2 runs batted in, a triple Saturday night. Big double yesterday. He drives this one out toward right center field. I don't think anybody's going to get this one, not even the speedy Burns. And one hops the fence. Iannetta on his way to third. Burns drops the baseball. DiSarcina waving at Iannetta. Johnny G at third base. And it's a 1-1 tie. He comes through again.
Johnny Giavotella, I just love the energy he brings. Once he got to third base, pumping up that dugout. Another perfect swing going the other way. Talk about how he's been leveling that swing up. What a perfect swing for Johnny Giavotella. Stayed back on that one well, using the opposite field. One hops the wall, but then Burns unable to control that baseball. And he picks up. There, DiSarcina has him go to third base. You see that energy. It's a double and an error. Tried to turn around and make the throw, but unable to keep that baseball in the glove, allowing Chris Iannetta to come around and score the tying run.
Johnny does get credited with an RBI, his 43rd, and with nobody out here, infield in the third inning of a 1-1 game. Ibar chops this one off the plate toward third. Valencia fields it in foul territory.
Oh, what a dangerous play all the way around on that one. It's a late call.
That's a serious gamble by Danny Valencia.
Especially with Eric Ibar running down the line with his speed. See down the line. It certainly is a foul ball. And it's a home plate umpire's call. Until that baseball crosses the base. Plate umpire Mark Carlson right away. It was an odd play for Valencia to make that type of play on that ball right there. Especially for a first baseman. Not a lot of experience in Canada over there, and that baseball's going right at him as the runner's going down the line.
0-1 count. Ibar tried to bunt his way onto the first and was thrown out by DeBron. Wow, that is driven out to left center field. Nobody's going to get this one. Off the base of the wall, Ibar on his way to second. It's 2-1 Angels. Eric with his 29th double, 39th run batted in.
Two doubles already in this inning for the Halos. Coming into this game, there's a lot of talk about the doubles that this Oakland club offensively has had. Another mistake, an off-speed pitch right down the heart of the plate, and Eric Ibar didn't miss it. Crushes that ball in the gap in left center field. 39th RBI, 29th double for Eric Ibar.
Nobody out, a man in scoring position. 2 runs in. Here's Calhoun, struck out in the first.
One thing we've seen from Cole of late, swinging that high fastball out of the strike zone. Some real good numbers this season in 15 games against Oakland. 13 RBI, 4 home run.
Fouls this one off.
You're trying to stay away against Cole to make sure he doesn't hit a ball to the right side of the infield.
And because he's chased, Gooby, he's racked up the punch-outs in this month. This is by far his brief stint in the major leagues, the most punch-outs he's had in any one month. He's got 34 coming in, 35 now coming into this at-bat. He goes down swinging here. Anderson Goes to first to complete the punch out. One away. That's something as far as Cole is concerned, that was never a topic of conversation. He strikes out too much or doesn't put the ball in play enough. It was the exact opposite for some reason. This stretch here, the last 3+ weeks, it's kind of racked up on him.
Yeah, especially because he's expanded his strike zone. Usually he centers in on some spots to use the entire field. And again, that's scouting reports right now. He's going to chase that high fastball, and then once you make him aware of that, he'll chase a breaking ball in the dirt. But if you make a mistake out over the plate, he has not missed those.
No. But those are usually the ones belt high, thigh high. The minute you start climbing from there is where he's gotten in some trouble. Trout drew a walk in the first. Takes a strike.
What Oakland has tried historically against Mike Trout is pitch him in with fastballs, a lot of them.
Inside corner, top part of the strike zone. No balls, 2 strikes.
It's getting the upper part of the strike zone. Last at bat, Mike Trout got the benefit of that call. Looked like he got the upper part of the strike zone. Almost similar pitch. Did not get called. He ended up working a walk.
Maybe this offseason they'll finally do away with that spin move. Once they got rid of the move to third base, or the third to first move. Ibar takes off. Trout swings and misses. Anderson has to throw over to first base. He completes a strikeout, 2 outs. So back-to-back strikeouts for DeBront.
Look at the strikeouts so far for DeBront in this game. Every one has been almost the same exact location. Pretty sharp slider. Down and in. Anderson did a nice job of keeping that baseball in front of him behind the plate.
Albert bounced one back to the mound to end the first inning. 2-1 Angels. We're in the third. Now time is called here. Anderson and DeBront can't get on the same page.
So 52 pitches so far in this game. Running the third inning, 34 strikes, 18 out of the strike zone. In a lengthy conversation like that, I'm thinking DeBront wants to throw Pujols breaking pitches.
There's a shot to the right side. Brett Laurie with a diving stop, gets up, throws out Albert. That ball was scorched. Nice play by Laurie, but DeBront settles down, limits the damage. The Angels take the lead 2-1 as we head to the fourth. Night at Angel Stadium. Your ticket purchase will include a lower level ticket to the game, exclusive gift bag, access to the pregame party, and more. Tickets are still available. Log on to angels.com/Halo Social to get yours now. Top of the fourth inning, 2-1 Angels. Billy Butler takes a strike. Butler, Smolinski, and Simeon here in the fourth inning for Oakland. Seventh straight retired by Hector Santiago since walking Jake Smolinski in the first inning. Pretty similar pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Butler hit a fly ball to shallow right center field that was caught by Trout. He fired it home. They had Burns in a rundown. Burns eventually scored. Iannetta's throw, handcuff freeze. Ibar picked it up, fired it home. Crone couldn't catch the ball, and Burns eventually took the gift and made it 1-0 Oakland at that time. No sac fly for Butler. This one's lined to third, 1 out. Let's go back and show you that first inning play. Good throw by Trout, especially with the speed of Burns.
Well, he really got behind that baseball extremely well. Again, when you're in a rundown, when you pump your arm like that, when your arm's up high like that, it's very difficult to have a good throw. Get rid of it quickly and allow the guy, David Freese, catch the ball and then bring it over and be able to apply the tag. A good throw by Trout. 6 outfield assists this season, which is a career high for Mike Trout.
Smolinski with a walk in the first. On the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. The game at Arlington's in the bottom of the 8th inning. 7-2 Tigers. Houston still leading Seattle 2-1. That game's in the 4th. Smolinski takes just in off the plate. Minnesota defeated Cleveland tonight. Games that matter to the Angels. Minnesota game behind the Angels. Halo's a half game behind the Astros and 3 back at Texas. 3 balls, 1 strike. Oakland claiming Smolinski off waivers from the Rangers this year. There's a strike. 3-2. Former 2nd round pick of the Nationals. At a high school, Illinois. Still just 26. 3-2. Got him looking. 2 down. 3rd strikeout for Hector.
Back-to-back fastballs at 92 inside. 1 upper part of the strike zone. This one lower part of the strike zone. And catching the zone according to our Fox Tracks frame well by Iannetta.
Big breaking ball misses down and in. Marcus Semien drove one out to center field to end the first inning. I thought that ball had a chance to get beyond Mike Trout. That was with the bases loaded. He tied him up.
Yeah, Simeon with 42 extra base hits. This season pretty solid extra base power for him. Developing into a pretty good player. Cleaned up his fielding at shortstop.
Hector about to throw his 70th pitch. Semien drives one out to deep left field. Going back is Victorino. We're tied at 2. Marcus Semien on a 1-2 pitch. They decide to go a changeup up.
What do we
ties this game up?
What did we say earlier about anything up in the strike zone? Semien hits extremely hard. 43 now extra base hits. 14th home run of the season. This is your offense, gives you a 2-1 lead. You get right back here with an off-speed pitch and you miss location on.
If you're going to get beat on your good stuff. That changeup was up. He hadn't thrown many of them today.
And you want that changeup to run away. Well, Gentry wasn't trying to punch that ball the other way.
No. He looked like he may have pulled his side muscle or something. He's kind of stretching out that right area, right hip area.
Same time.
He grounded out to Giavatelli in the second. Ball that was sharply hit.
Semien now with 3 home runs in his last 12 games now. Not a bad pitch there. Lower part of the strike zone. 92-mile-an-hour fastball with pretty good sink action.
Two balls, 2 strikes. He's trying to finish off this 4th inning. Got the first 2 outs and got ahead of 1-2 to Semien. We're giving up the home run. Anderson, the catcher's on deck. 9th place hitter. Gentry fouls it off.
When Hector Santiago now with 75 pitches through 24 in the first inning, 20 already here in the 4th. Pitch count getting up there once again.
Again, another mistake up. Count remains at 2-2. That right there is Matt Latos. Angels signing him today. He's available if needed. Like Sosha said, they'll use him out of the pen. Spot start him if necessary. Angels needing some depth. The other thing too is Joe Smith threw a bullpen yesterday, I believe it was. Took some PFPs today. He'll throw another bullpen to see how his ankle is feeling.
He needs some depth, especially Shoemaker. That elbow is still a little bit tender forearm.
Bouncer to third. Freeze tries to backhand that ball and commits an error. 7th of the year. Laid back on that ball to try to backhand it as opposed to just charging it.
Especially with Gentry running. You got to come in on that baseball because it's going to be a bang play. And he's definitely going to be going. He's had a lot of success stealing bases against the Angels in his career.
Anderson hit a fly ball to left field. His first at bat. Check in on Gentry now. Gentry last year with Oakland at 20 stolen bases, career high 24 with Texas in 2013. 1-0. At AAA this year, Gentry with 25 stolen bases, caught 7 times. The second half mystery that is Hector Santiago. So good, so consistent in that first half. A deserved all-star.
Under control.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you see those shoulders lifting up, very balanced shoulders. Head didn't move around a lot when he delivered the baseball.
Gets a gift on that call, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. 25 pitches thrown this inning. Inning that started with 2 quick outs. Trying to keep it a 2-2 tie. We're in the 4th. 80 pitches thrown by Hector. 2-1.
And you want to keep that balance. You see that front shoulder is dipping down. You want to keep that as balanced as much as possible. And he lifts it up. That it creates movement in your head and your shoulder and your elbow not going in the exact same direction. Keep the shoulders leveled as much as possible in your delivery. Mentioned Gentry having success stealing bases against the Angels in his career. 20 for 20 as far as stolen bases.
Got him picked off. Crone fires to Ibar in the shift, and Gentry comes off the base, and they got him. He was safe, but came off the bag, and Ibar ends up applying the tag on him. Sure, Melvin maybe will take a look at it. No real argument from Gentry, but because he went to that outside portion of the base, just could not hang on to it.
Yeah, he went around on him. It was like a swim type move. He's originally safe. Wow. They might take a look at that one.
Now they're saying no. It's a out call at second.
I'll
the Angels take it, no doubt. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth, tied at 2. EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit HEFINS.com. And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more. Tied at 2 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. C.J. Crone to lead things off. And the first pitch is outside. Crone followed by Freese and then Victorino. Angels getting 2 runs off DeBron in the third inning. But after the RBI double by Eric Ibar, DeBron retired Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols on 2 strikeouts and a sharp ground ball to second, stranding Eric at third base. Eric had stolen third. Crone with a base hit his first time up. Lays off.
Continues to try that breaking ball down and in to C.J. Crone.
Two on. Crone bounced it foul. You'd think that the splits for C.J. Crone would heavily favor left-handed pitching, but they're fairly equal. 268 against lefties, 265 against righties. Trying to pitch him inside here, and that misses location, and CJ fouls it off. A dribbler up the third base line. Valencia comes charging in, barehanded, off balance throw, safe at first. C.J. Cron, legs down at infield, base hit, and breathe.
It's amazing how quick you get down that line when you can smell a base hit. He got down there quick.
He learned well from Bobby Abreu. Watch it, Bobby.
That jammed on that breaking ball. Valencia's playing back, respecting the power that C.J. Cron has. That quickness down the line for C.J. Cron. Second hit of the game. Played well by Valencia. The scoop and throw, all the same motion, but the foot on the base before the ball goes into Canna's glove.
David Freese struck out in the second. Takes inside. Texas batting down the bottom of the ninth, still down 7-2 against the Tigers. Houston, top of the fifth in Seattle. They lead at 2-1. Boy, overthrown pitch. Nice job by Anderson. Not an easy play. 2 balls, no strikes.
Really overthrown pitch, way out of the strike zone. Getting that body in front, keeping those shoulders down, and wearing that one on that chest protector to keep it in front of him.
Down low, 3-0. Limited schedule today. Cubs walked off on the Royals. Kristen Northia. Giants leading the Dodgers 2-1 in the fifth. Mentioned the Houston score and the Texas score. Everything else is a final.
Toronto now with the best record.
That's right. Toronto beat Baltimore. League, yes. 4-3. Boston over Yankees 5-1. Minnesota over Cleveland. Freeze draws the walk. Not a bad pitch either by DuBrock. Strike zone tonight has been a little erratic, to say the least, on both sides.
It's a pretty good pitch. He certainly has not called a lot of lower strikes.
Yeah. So Victorino up with 2 on, nobody out.
This might be a tough night if I was on the mound, especially being a sinker ball pitcher, not getting that lower part of the strike zone. Forcing pitches up. That's what happens against guys like DuBrock, forced up in the strike zone, become very hittable.
Shane lined into a double play. His first at bat, line went right to Valencia. Pushes a bunt on the first base side. Nice bunt. Canna picks it up, throws to first, and they get Victorino's a sacrifice. Moves Cron to third and Freese to second.
Well done by Victorino. Forcing the first baseman right there and a slow roller down the line. If he doesn't feel that's going to stay fair. To throw over to second base. Brett Laurie to get the out.
Infield in for Oakland. And if that dugout looks full for the Angels, it's because it is. There's 39 active players. Inetta takes upstairs. Jojo Reyes, who spent this year with the AAA Salt Lake, is here also. He's going to throw a bullpen to see how he is feeling. You know, obviously the season ended for them about 10 days ago, almost 2 weeks ago. He might be an option. He's not on the 40-man. Chris breaks his bat, hits one out to shallow center. Burns is there. He'll make the catch. Cron's going to come home. The throw is cut off and safe at the plate. Is C.J. Cron. Out at third is David Freese, but the Angels take the lead. It's 3-2 Halos on the sac fly by Chris Inetta as we head to the fifth. Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins October the 8th on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, if the playoffs look anything like what we're seeing here as the push for the playoffs in the American League, it should be really, really good.
Halos 3 back of the Rangers in the American League West, a half game back of the Astros. Texas still batting in the bottom of the ninth, down 7-2, but they've got the bases loaded. Houston batting in the fifth against Seattle. They still lead it 2-1 with 2 outs. Lance McCullers against Roenis Elias. Nine 1-2 for Oakland here in the fifth.
Verlander on the mound for the Tigers tonight against the Rangers. Boy, he's throwing the ball well in his last 10 starts now. He looks like the Justin Verlander of old. Now, when you look at the difference in the strike zone, certainly favors Hector Santiago because he throws a lot of high strikes. Mark Carlson's calling a lot of high strikes. And DuBront's been trying to live on the lower part of the strike zone, not getting the calls.
Anderson was at the play when Gentry was picked off to end the fourth. 2-1 pitch. Pulls this one toward the shift. Giavatello with a diving stop from his knees over to first. Got him! Johnny Giavatello for the second time tonight.
He's got a new nickname is Johnny Be Everywhere. In the field, running the bases. Another solid play by Johnny Giavatello. The good range, and the thing he did well here, got rid of the baseball quickly. Off balance throw, good throw to C.J. Cron. Get the first out of the inning. That uniform is extremely dirty now.
Nah, he should be doing Tide commercials.
Yeah. Keith Tarter's going to have a tough time cleaning that uniform after this game.
Gonna have to shout it out.
Yeah.
Burns swings through the off speed. I watched too much TV.
I hear you. Yes, you do.
Burns a single with a run scored to the first, a strikeout in the second. Another one. Down goes Burns. 2 outs. Strikeout number 4 for Santiago.
They're moving that shoulder around quite a bit. Looks like he's uncomfortable with the T-shirt underneath the uniform. Backdoor breaking ball. Effective pitch for him to get a swing and miss.
Not effectively wicking the moisture. Mark Cannon hit by a pitch in the first. A fly ball to right in the third. It happens.
Yeah.
This one's popped up left side. Boy, that's a quick inning. 8 pitches. David Freese puts it away, and a shutdown inning at that will hit the bottom of the fifth. 3-2 Angels. Reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. 9-1-2 for the Angels here in the fifth, up 3-2. Giavotella, Ibar, and Calhoun. Johnny, a double, an RBI, and a run scored in the third. His double out to the alley in right center field. Swings first pitch. Tied him up. 0-1 count. This is sharply hit towards second. Lawyer to the backhand. One down.
Even though that's an out, it's still a good swing for Giavotella. That ball hard the other way. It's played by Brett Laurie at second base.
Ibar doubled to the alley in left center in the third inning. 29th of the year, picked up his 39th RBI. Eventually stranded at third base. He also picked up a stolen base that inning. His 14th. 1 ball, no strikes. 69th pitch thrown by Dubron. 43 of it strikes for him. Not a bad start for him either. Been at times a little erratic, but I think that kind of goes to perhaps where the strike zone's been called tonight. Ibar bounces this one to Valencia. 2 down. So up steps Cole. Cole 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Prince Fielder, by the way, singled home 2 runs in the 9th inning. So it's 7 of 4 Detroit.
You're checking out that at bat. 11 pitch at bat for Fielder.
So 1 out of the 9th inning with Texas still batting. Neftali Feliz, the former closer for the Rangers, now doing the same for the Tigers on the mound for Detroit. That bullpen's been in shambles all season long for the Tigers. Trying to close out what was a 7-2 lead. Two balls and a strike.
You can see that Texas club the last 4 games of the season in Arlington. And early in the season, they were really struggling at home. They've played much better at home of late, the Rangers.
Bouncer foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Texas very good out on the road this year. 45 and 36. 4 games over 500 at home. The top 2 teams in the division both played under 500 or have played under 500 against their own division. Texas 34 and 38. Houston 36 and 37. Two. Oh, what a foul to the right side. The Angels with the sweep of Seattle now 40 and 29 against the West. Halos have had issues out on the road this year.
They'll have to turn that around. They've played very well in Arlington, though. They've hit the ball extremely well. The improvement in the record in the Western Division since 2013.
Full count. The Angels road record 34-43 with 4 left to play. Here comes the payoff. Cole bounces this one over to first. Canada's got it. And the Angels go down in order. We head to the 6th inning. Halos up 3-2. Texas 7-4. Adrian Beltre grounded into an game-ending double play, I should say. So it's 7-4 Tigers. Houston leading Seattle. They're batting currently in the top of the 6th inning. It's 2-1, and of course Minnesota defeated Cleveland 4-2. They're in the midst of a 4-game series against the Cleveland Indians, and Minnesota will finish at home against Kansas City. There's a look at the standings right now. A win by the Angels. They would be 2 back in the West with 4 to play against Texas. Halos up 3-2 here in the 6th inning. Brett Laurie, Danny Valencia, and Billy Butler for Oakland. Back to 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. He's allowed 2 hits, one of which was the home run to Marcus Semien in the 4th. But Laurie pops it up foul out of play. There's a strike. 1-2. Watch out. 1-2 fastball hits Laurie in the shoulder. Second hit batter of the night for Hector. And it puts a leadoff man on board.
Well overthrown fastball. And Chris Inett is almost setting up behind Brett Laurie. You don't want to try to make a mistake inside like that, especially where you can expand up and away against them.
Valencia with a walk and a ground out is 0 for 1. This one down towards center. One out. Brett Laurie back to first base, and with one out, here comes Billy Butler. Rasmussen Alvarez. The old double barrel action.
Hector would love to get a ground ball double play. Said that doesn't happen all that often for Hector. Getting the right guy up now to potentially get a ground ball double play.
Butler 0 for 2 tonight with a fly ball to right, and he lined out to Freeze his last time up. Oakland with 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. They've stranded 3. The Angels 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors, and 2 men left on base so far. A good lead for Brett Lauren. They'll check in on him. He's got 5 bags this year. He'll pick his spots. Santiago now 96 pitches. Huge if he can get that out. Double play out. Get out of the 6th inning. This is driven out toward right center field. Long run for Trout. He'll pull up. This one is off the fence. Plays the carry cleanly, being stopped at third as Laurie, and no relay throw to second with Butler running. So it's a double for Butler off the wall. And the A's have runners at second and third with 1 out.
Yeah, if you play that quickly off the wall, there's a play at second base. 28 double. Butler's always been a doubles machine. Getting that in quickly. But there's a play there. Johnny looked at home plate area. He looks right away to second. There's a play there potentially. High off that wall.
So Jake Smolinski will bat, and Hector working for the full windup with 1 out. That's line to right. Cole, little flat-footed, will make the catch. Coming home is Brett Laurie, and he is in there. We're tied at 3. A sac fly for Smolinski. Picks up his 26th RBI. So the hit by pitch on a 1-2 count comes back to haunt Santiago. Butler ends up at third. Another pitch that was up in the zone, giving Smolinski a nice easy pass at it.
They may be walking him.
Now I think they're gonna
appeal second
base on Butler, going to third.
Got to throw to second there, Hector.
Did he come set?
And it's one thing you have to do is step off.
Tough to tell there. Socha's going to come out and make a pitching change, it appears. Marcus Semien coming up. Hector hitting Laurie and then giving up the double to Butler and a sac fly to Jake Smolinski. He'll depart here with Property standing at third base. It's a 3-3 tie with a pitching change here in the 6th. Gives up 3 runs. He's responsible for the man standing at third base. It's our in and out, who's in, who's out Corey Rasmus takes over on the mound after throwing 23 pitches in yesterday's game. He'll come in to try to get that third out against Marcus Semien, who homered on Santiago in the fourth. 14th game for Rasmus. No record of .589 ERA, 18 and a third innings. 22 strikeouts and 10 walks.
So important to the bullpen and the starting staff last season. Threw the ball very well yesterday through 23 pitches in an inning and 2/3.
As we went to a commercial, Ketel Marte, the shortstop for the Seattle Mariners, homered off Lance McCullers. So that game is tied at 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here we're tied at 3. It's the top of the 6th. Double by Butler and a sac fly. Like Jake Smolinski to tie this one up. Butler standing at third base. Semien 1 for 2. First pitch slider down and away. Home run for Semien in the 4th inning, his 14th of the year. His 43rd run batted in. Big out here. The Angels in the bottom of the 6th have Trout, Pujols, and Crone coming up. 2-0. Missed outside for ball 3. So 3 straight sliders to Semien with Gentry on deck. Fastball is in there. 3-1. Off speed in there for strike. So full count. And that is set up outside in the 3-2. Upstairs and he walked him. So miss with the fastball. Puts Semien on board. Brings up Gentry with runners at the corners. Semien with his 11 stolen bases has been caught 4 times. He's over at first base now. Gentry being called back, it looks like. Coco Crisp will be called upon to pinch hit here for Gentry. Over 2 game for Gentry tonight. Coco limited to injuries this year. He's only played in 40 games. 161 batting average. As a pinch hitter, he's 4 for 11. From the left side, 4 for 8. From the right side, 0 for 3. So you wonder if Scioscia spins him around. He's got Alvarez out of the bullpen.
He was looking at numbers. I think he is going to make that decision to go to the lefty.
Sure enough. So Rasmus comes in, faces 1 batter, and walks Semien. A pitching change again here in the 6th inning. It's a 3-3 game. By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Tied at 3 here at the top of the 6th inning. Runners at first and third with 2 outs, and Jose Alvarez summoned to try to get Coco Crisp to finish off this 6th inning. Alvarez pitching in his 60th game, 4-3 mark, a 3.69 ERA, 54 strikeouts, and 22 walks in 63 and a third innings. He threw 7 pitches on Saturday. And he's going to face Coco Crisp, who started the season on the disabled list. He was recovering from elbow surgery. He was reinstated on May 6th and then ended up going back on the disabled list from May 20th to August the 2nd with a cervical strain. That's why he's only played in 40 games. Billy Butler, the base runner, at third. Marcus Semien at first. Coco in his career against left-handed pitching, a .259 average, .272 against right-handers. Here's the first pitch. Swings at the first one, and he's notorious swinging early in the count, especially in these type of situations. 0-1.
And he's looking to do damage on a fastball. Nice decision by Alvarez and Iannetta to go with a changeup.
Not a big lead at all for Semien at first. A 1 pitch off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Butler belongs to Santiago after he doubled off the wall in right center field. Of course, Simeon's is Rasmus's base runner, the only batter he faced, issuing the walk. Iannetta back outside, the 1-1. That's a pretty good pitch.
It's not going to get that lower part of the strike zone called.
2-1.
You see that's hitting the lower part of the strike zone according to our Fox tracks.
Doesn't mean a whole lot tonight. Two one. This one's looped out to shallow right field. That'll get down and it'll bring in a run. Going to third is Semien. The throw is in time. He got him. But a flare single by Coco Crisp gives the Athletics a 1-run lead.
Looks like they may look at this play too. Charged well by Cole Calhoun. A perfect throw. See if the tag was applied. Looked like a tag was before the foot got on the base. Giving out 11 outfield assists this season for Cole Calhoun.
Into the bottom of the 6th inning with Oakland on top. Deposits for the 2016 season now being accepted. Place your deposit now and receive priority for next year. For more info and to place that deposit, call 888-796-HALO or just go to angels.com/season seats. A couple of changes for Oakland as we start the 6th inning. Chris stays in the game unless Smolinski moves from left over to right. As the Angels will send up Trout, Pujols, and Cron here at the bottom of the 6th inning to face Felix Dubron. Dubron's coming off a 1-2-3 5th inning. It's the first time tonight that he's retired the side in order. Coco Crisp delivering the pinch hit RBI single to snap the 3-3 tie. Oakland leads it for the second time tonight. They had a 1-0 lead in the first. All 4 runs charged to Hector Santiago in his 5 2/3. 3 hits, one of which is a home run, but 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 2 hit batters. That last inning started with a 1-2 pitch that hit Brett Laurie to start off the 6th.
Yeah, setting up. Chris Iannetta was setting up well off the inside corner. An overthrown fastball results in a hit by pitch against Brett Lowry by Hector Santiago.
Trout, a walk and a strikeout. 0 for 1. Bounces this one to third. First pitch swinging. 1 out. Brings up Pujols.
Hyundai key for this game to be successful against Dubron and the ace right hand. Going to use that right-handed power against him. A lot of success this season right-handed batters have had against Dubron. Talked about 322 coming into this game. So far, C.J. Cron and Giavitello, some big swings against them themselves.
Albert 0 for 2. A bouncer back to the mound and a ground ball sharply hit to second. Both teams with 4 hits. And Albert drives one out to left center field. We are going to be tied at 4. Gone! Big fly for Pujols. 38th of the season.
But Albert must have been listening to the key to the game. A Hyundai key, the right hand power, hits it out well out to left center field. 38th home run, 90th RBI of the season for Albert Pujols. Trying to go fastball this time, inner half of the plate and down. And this ball is crushed. The machine going way out to left center field.
558th of his career. C.J. Cron steps in and he hammers one out toward left field. Coco Crisp back at the wall and he will make the catch. Just got it off the end of the bat. 2 down. That slow breaking ball and Cron jumped all over it.
Talked about that earlier, that swing path that C.J. Cron has. And Dubron throws that slow breaking ball, stayed back on it as long as he could, but towards the end of the bat, the only reason why that baseball is still in play. And that dugout thinking the lead with that swing. Mike Scioscia up there also along with Albert Pujols. Stayed in the yard though.
David Freese takes low. He struck out in the 2nd, walked in the 4th. Albert, by the way, 14th all time with 558. Next up, Reggie Jackson at 563 home runs. Freese, a swing and a miss. That pitch down bottom part of the zone. It's been effective against Freese, although he did finally work a walk in the 4th inning. And some tough pitches. Dubron's thrown 83 pitches. He has struck out 4 and he's walked 3. 1-2. The pitch that got Freese in the 2nd inning was that off-speed pitch, similar to that pitch he just got there for a strike. The 1-2 lays off. They wanted a P, only did not go, says Trip Gibson, first base umpire. Two balls and 2 strikes. Back inside. Freeze fouls it off.
We talked about in the opening that energy and power. The reason why this club has played well of late. Certainly saw some energy there provided by Giavotella. Bring across the run, and the power by Albert Pujols to tie this game up.
Going back outside. Here's the 2-2. Upstairs. A full count with Victorino on deck.
The 5th full count by DuBrant in this ball game. Coming inside.
And he works the walk. Two-out free pass. That's the 4th issued by DuBrant. Brings up Victorino. The 6 2/3 tonight by DuBrant matches a season high through that back on July the 7th against the Chicago White Sox. Start to get some action going now in the Oakland pen. That's what Kurt Young's out there to give the pen some time to get loosened up. DuBrant will face Victorino here. Shane doubled, or lined, I should say, into a double play in the 2nd inning and had a sacrifice bunt in the 4th. 0 for 1/9 for Victorino. Pujols tying things up at 4 with a 1-out home run. Just before that, Chris Carter homered to give Houston Astros a 3-2 lead in the 7th in Seattle. Texas lost tonight 7-4, and Minnesota defeated Cleveland.
Like we said the other day, the Angels control their own destiny at this point.
Down low. One ball, one strike with Freeze over at first. Down it in. Pat Venditti getting ready. Love that switch. You throw it from the right or the left. Two-one. That's out toward left. Playable for Crisp. That's the 3rd out. But Albert Pujols' home run, his 38th of the year, ties this game up at 4.
Trying to sneak a fastball in against Pujols, but he brought his hands inside. Good leverage and crushed that out to left center field.
Of the game, tweet us your strongest fan photo to hashtag West Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Top of the 7th inning, a 4-4 tie, 9-1-2 coming up for the Athletics. Anderson, Burns, and Cannon. Jose Alvarez still out there. Anderson, the catcher, 0 for 2, a fly ball to left and a ground ball to second base. It was a terrific play by Johnny Giavotella out in shallow right. It's back up the middle. It's a leadoff single. Another fastball that was up in the zone. Been a lot of mislocations tonight.
I wonder how much that is a product of how many innings and time up out of the bullpen for any number of pitchers for the bullpen lately for the Angels.
Burns, the center fielder, 1 for 3 with a single and a couple of strikeouts. Freese playing in over at third. Takes a strike. Just one sacrifice on the year for Burns. Down low. Just 13 on the season for Oakland. One pitch. 1-2. Well, seesaw battle tonight. Oakland taking a 1-0 lead in the first. The Angels took a 2-1 lead in the third. Oakland tied at the top of the fourth. The Angels retook the lead in the bottom of the fourth. Then 2 for Oakland in the sixth. The Angels got 1. Burns reaches for that one, fouls it back. 4 runs for Santiago in his 5 2/3. Rasmus went 1 batter, issued the walk. Now Alvarez has faced 2 batters, hasn't retired 1. He's given up 2 hits. Crisp, the RBI single in the 6th inning to put Oakland back on top. Simeon was thrown out at third to finish off that 6th. Now the leadoff single to Anderson. Cam Bedrosian getting ready in the Angels' pen. Mark Canha on deck. Burns fouls it back.
A pretty good hack at that fastball, was upstairs. Missed his spot on that one.
Off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Burns, a 32nd round pick by the Nationals in 2011. Came over in a trade last year. In exchange for Jerry Blevins, a lefty. Two now. And he breaks his bat, rolls with a Crone, touches first base. It's a tag play at second, but Crone throws it wildly to second. So instead of a double play, it's 1 out and a man in scoring position.
Almost works as a bunt then at that point.
Yep. Oh, we've seen just about everything tonight.
Steps on the base and quickly throws. He had more time than he thought.
You got a catcher running, you got all day.
Yeah, you can get yourself in better position right there. Step on the base, clear that path to make a throw. It's a difficult throw. Alvarez just happy to be able to catch that baseball, hoping that Anderson would slide off the base.
Go ahead run in scoring position. Mark Canha coming up. First baseman 0 for 2 with a hit by a pitch, a fly to right, and a pop up in foul territory. Oh, 1 count. Not a big lead for Anderson at second. Canha fouls that one into the mitt. 0-2. Leadoff single for Anderson, the catcher. Halos in the bottom of the 7th of 8, 9, and 1 due up by Netta, Giavotella, and Ibar. Action in the A's pen. Like Felix Dubron's probably done after 6 innings tonight.
It's pretty much been what he's thrown this season, around 6 innings. And 6 2/3 back on July 7th.
Four strikeouts, 4 walks, 5 hits allowed. Gave up the home run to Pujols to tie things up in the 6th. Called strike 3, got him looking. Maybe in off the plate, but the zone has been kind of all over the place. The Angels will take it 2 down.
Especially that upper part of the strike zone. Mike Scioscia going to go down to the bullpen now. After this very good pitch by Jose Alvarez inside corner. Gets the call. Big punch out.
Oh, with Brett Laurie coming up. Scioscia's going to go to the right-hander. Cam Bedrosian, a pitching change in the 7th. It's a 4-4 tie. .com and powered by AutoNation Fiat South Bay. Cam Bedrosian comes into the ballgame with 2 outs and a go-ahead run standing at second base. Cam will be facing Brett Laurie once we get underway here, pitching in his 31st big league game, 1-0 record at a 5.17 earned run average.
Fastball has been pretty solid, 92 to 95. Also throwing a pretty good breaking pitch and changeup.
7th game that he's pitched in the month of September, 5 1/3. as far as innings. A 3.38 this month. There's Anderson, the base runner at second. Brett Laurie reached on a fielder's choice in the first, struck out in the third, and was hit by a pitch to lead off the sixth inning. Eventually scored one of the 2 runs for Oakland that inning. So on the night, he's 0 for 2. Fastball up and away.
Well, that fastball 97, but overthrown and out of the strike zone.
On the corner, 1-1. Laurie shoots one foul. Danger zone down there.
Especially fastballs. He hits fastballs anywhere near the strike zone hard.
Right now, especially 1-2, you figure, especially after chasing that pitch, breaking ball be a great
breaking ball
pitch.
that plane out of part of the plate. Trust Iannetta to keep that in front of him.
Don't overthrow it.
No.
Went back outside. Here's the 1-2. Good fastball. 2-2.
If that's the case, then you got to be ready if you're Cole Calhoun out in right field. He's going to try to punch that ball that way.
Anderson with 2 outs and take a bigger lead. Trout trading Laurie out toward right center. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball got him. Down goes Brett Laurie into stretch time here at the Big A.
That was the breaking ball we were looking for. He got it. What a perfect pitch by Pedrosia. 88-mile-an-hour slider. Sports update. The Dodgers. Can the Dodgers slay the Giants? Well, right now the Giants leading the Dodgers 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning, and last gasp for Cleveland. Cleveland now 5 games back in the wild card races. Minnesota beats them in Cleveland with Kluber on the mound 4-2.
Here at the bottom of the 7th inning, new pitcher on for the Oakland Athletics to face 8-9-1. It's a one-time Angel, Fernando Rodriguez, taking over on the mound. El Paso, Texas native, now 30 years of age. Originally an 18th round pick by the Halos in 2003. Did get into one game wearing that Angels uniform. That was back in 2009. Ended up signing with the Houston Astros. He pitched in their system for a while. Got to the big leagues a couple of times with them in 2011 and 2012, and then was traded over to Oakland. Pitched for Oakland 7 games last year, 53 games this year. 4-2 and a 4.04 ERA. First pitch outside to Chris Iannetta.
He's got a fastball that's going to be about 92 to 95 range. So a cut fastball, which you saw right there. Curveball and a changeup.
Chris tonight a walk and a sac fly, so no official AB for him. Picked up his 34th RBI with that sacrifice fly in the 4th. Got a fastball. Cuts right through it. DeBrot 6 innings, 5 hits, including the home run to Pujols, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, 4 runs, all earned. Upstairs. 2-2. Up at Seattle, Houston trying to add on. They're up 3-2 with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Have a couple of men on base. Texas lost tonight to Detroit 7-4. Minnesota defeated Cleveland. Full count.
I think he's going to probably try to throw another one of those cut fastballs in the outer part of the plate.
Second game in which the Angels have faced Rodriguez. He's gone just on 3rd of an inning against them this year. Here's the payoff pitch. And that's fouled off. Good rip by Iannetta. We'll reset and do it again at 3-2.
Yeah, instead of going with that cut fastball, he went with his 4-seam fastball. Lower part of the strike zone, good swing at it.
Another 3-2. Iannetta fouls it back, and another good rip at a 95-mile-per-hour fastball.
Almost the exact same location, 2 really good swings.
Bulk of the duty this year for Rodriguez at the major league level. Just 10 games at AAA Nashville. A starter early in his career. Strictly a bullpen piece now. Iannetta lifts one on the first base side. Mark Canha drifting over is going to run out of room.
It's another pitch fairly close to the same spot. Doesn't want to give in to Chris Iannetta. He's been pitching that lower part of the strike zone with his fastball.
A couple of years ago when Chris first got to the Angels, his power zone was out toward that right center field alley. That has kind of gone away from him over the last year plus. And he swings and misses on the breaking ball, 1 out. Up steps Giavitello, who's 1 for 2.
See this location. This might have been a cut fastball here. Never really started on or even near the outside part of the plate, but that cut action got Iannetta to swing, and especially because there was 3 or 4 pitches in a row right on that outside part of the plate.
Johnny doubled home a run. He fouls this one back. Heads up, Dino. Come on, Dean. Jump up and catch that ball. Our stage manager right over his head. No balls and a strike. Breaking ball. Got the top part of the zone, 0-2.
It's a pretty good pitch considering how many fastballs and cut fastballs he has thrown so far.
Set up outside. Time was called at the last second there.
Looks like he's setting up for that cut fastball away.
And that's driven out toward right field. Playable, though. Jake Smolinski puts it away. 2 down. Fans individual tickets now available for all home games during the American League Division Series. Head to angel.com/postseason for more info and to get your tickets today.
We're going back in this game when Eric had that double after Giavitello had a double. Angels stranded him at second base, but that was at no outs at that point.
And this line to left field. Coco Crisp coming in. He will make the basket catch. Waist high. The Angels go down in order. We head to the 8th. 4-4 tie.
Game between the Angels and A's as we head into the 8th inning. Welcome back, everyone. Ken French with you. And don't forget, following this one, it's all about Angels Live post-game, presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Myself, Jose Mota, Tim Salmon will bring you the highlights. Alex Curry will have all the post-game interviews, and we'll surely talk about Johnny Giavitello. He's been red hot since coming off the disabled list on Friday. 4 for 8 over the weekend against Seattle with a couple RBIs and a run scored. Tonight, RBI double, run scored, and 2 sparkling plays in the field. We'll also bring you some of the highlights from the Rangers, Astros, and Twins. That's all coming up on the post-game show. But right now, back to Victor and Mark.
Thanks a lot, Frenchie. As Danny Valencia takes a strike, it'll be Valencia, Butler, and Smolinski here in the 8th for Oakland to face Cam Bedrosian, who came in and struck down Brett Laurie to finish off the 7th. Valencia tonight a walk, a ground out, and a fly ball to center. Fastball missing low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Up in Seattle, the Mariners are batting with 1 out, down 3-2 against the Houston Astros. A 3-game series between those two teams. Houston will finish the regular season with 3 games against the Diamondbacks in Arizona.
That got up here quick.
Yeah, but that was above us.
That's fine with me.
One-two pitch, down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Angels needing Bedrosian to get through this 8th inning. It's been really tough for the Angels bullpen of late. Breaking pitch, yeah, he did. He went around. There's out number 1, and I say that with Joe Smith having gone down. Houston street out for the rest of the season. Joe, who knows, maybe comes back. But you've also had Mike Morin and Fernando Salas pitch 3 straight games, so the odds are that they are down. Morin picked up his first major league save last night or yesterday afternoon. So I would imagine it's Bedrosian to got, and then go get him.
Trevor Gott getting ready. Bedrosian, that slider once again was excellent. Got Brett Lawrie to swing and miss on that slider to finish off the 7th. Same thing there with Valencia here to start the 8th.
Butler takes just off the plate.
That's still a pretty good slider. It's good to see Cam throwing that slider with confidence.
Butler doubled and scored in the 6th inning. At that point gave Oakland a 4-3 lead, but Pujols tied it up. His home run in the 6th. Out back, and that's a pretty good rip at a fastball at 97. Both teams with 5 hits. Oakland have stranded 5. The Angels have left 3 on base. Kind of an odd defensive game tonight for the Angels. Good slider, 1-2.
Real good arm motion with that pitch for Cam.
Breaking pitch, and there's an emergency hack there. This one hit into some empty seats, fortunately. The count remains at 1-2. Looks like they're headed to the 9th at Seattle. Astros up 3-2. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball. 2-2 now.
It looked like he slowed down a little bit on that slider. He has not done that so far. What that does is a hitter, it tips you off that it's something off speed. It's going to be out of the strike zone. Try to keep that same exact arm motion all your pitches. You can get hitters to chase out of the strike zone when you do that, especially with your breaking ball.
Going back outside. 2-2. Fastball got him looking. Painted on the outside corner. 2 down.
As the Rolling Stones would say, that is painted black. Right on that outside corner at 97. We're in our Fox trucks. That got the zone.
Josh Reddick will come out and pinch hit for Jake Smolinski. Josh will stay in the game and play right. .271 hitter this year with 20 home runs, 76 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, Reddick 3 for 10 with 2 RBIs. Didn't get the start today with the Angels sending out Hector Santiago to the mound. The Angels in the bottom of the 8th have Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up. Reddick takes low. 2-0. This is where Bedrosian's had troubles this year. Lefties have hit .395 in his 30 games this year. Righties just .241. Two-0 pitch, breaking ball, hooked into right field, a base hit.
Went down and got that breaking ball. Pretty good pitch too. 84-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
But Trevor Gott loosened in the pen, and Marcus Semien up. Interesting that he's going to go to the bullpen here with Gott, considering the way Bedrosian threw against the two right-handers, but so she's going to make the move with 2 outs. A pitching change here in the 8th. It's a 4-4 tie. Semien scheduled to bat here. He's the shortstop as he'll face Trevor Gott. Last pitched on Saturday, threw a total of 13 pitches in that one. Got a 3-2 record, a 3.07 ERA, pitching in his 45th game. 44 innings, 25 strikeouts, and 15 walks. And the only reason I said that, Gooby, going to break is that when you look at what Bedrosian did with Laurie, Valencia, and Butler, 3 right-handed batters, he picked up 3 strikeouts because the slider's working really well tonight. Maybe try to get one more, see if he can get Semien, get out of it, and save Gott maybe for the ninth.
Exactly, and I had a long conversation with Joe Smith today. I was asking him about Cam Bedrosian as a veteran down there trying to help him out. He said he's starting to see some real confidence starting to grow in Cam Bedrosian, and you can see that in his breaking ball today. Threw the ball exceptionally well, went 1 inning with 3 punch-outs. It's that 1 hit he gave up to Reddick, and you would think maybe you can try to squeeze one more batter, especially where he's been throwing the ball here tonight.
And Semien had been 0 for 3 against Bedrosian. See what happens here. Semien is 1 for 2 with a home run back in the 4th. That was off Hector Santiago. He drew a walk in the 6th. First one up and in. One ball, one strike.
Boy, that fastball has some serious movement.
Quick throw to first. Reddick has 10 stolen bases this year. He's been caught twice. Out toward right field, slicing toward the seats and out of play. 1-2. Got ready. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. A breaking ball. Misses down and away. And his outing on Saturday went 1 inning, had 2 strikeouts. Pitched the 1-2-3 8th inning. That was the game that David Freese hit the walk-off home run on. A 2-2 count now. Ground ball to short. Should do it. Ibar goes the short way. They force out Reddick, and we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Angels sending up Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols in a 4-4 game. A 3 back in the American League West, a half game back in the Houston Astros in the second wild card spot. Texas lost earlier tonight by the final of 7-4 to the Tigers. Minnesota Twins are a game behind the Angels. They defeated Cleveland, and Houston currently leading Seattle 3-2 in that game. Now the top of the 9th inning as Daniel Colombe takes over on the mound. He'll face Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols, so there could be just a one-batter situation here to face Cole Calhoun. Cole 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts and a ground out.
Just imagine in that Cal zone. See if we can square one up.
And a pretty good pitch to drive right there. Just cuts through it. No balls and a strike. 7th game for the lefty pitching for Oakland. No record of 3 ERA. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Breaking ball down and away. Purchased from the Dodgers on September the 10th. for the Dodgers. He ended up pitching in 5 games, just in 8 in the 3rd innings.
Calling base fastballs 88 to 92. We'll throw a slider, cut fastball, curveball, and changeup.
One pitch. Cole takes down low. 2 balls and a strike. Rodriguez pitched a scoreless 1-2-3 7th for Oakland. Had 1 strikeout. Foul back. Another good rip. Evens a count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just under 32,000 tonight. Open game of this 3-game series. It's been a back and forth tonight. Two. Full count.
What if we go back after with a breaking ball or challenge him with a fastball?
Payoff on the way now to Cole. He fouls that one back.
Boy, he had a pitch drive there. Breaking ball stayed on the inner half.
Trout on deck. Another 3-2 to Cole. He tops this one toward first base. That is a fair ball. 1 out. Melvin on his way out. Going to make a pitching change here with Mojica ready to go. So we're going to have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 batter situation. We're tied at 4 with 1 out here in the 8th. To face Edward Mojica. Show you the standings as we speak right now. The Angels 2.5 back of victory would put them 2 back of the Rangers in the American League West. And they're currently a half game back of the Astros. Houston and now in the bottom of the 9th inning in Seattle. Up 3-2. Oliver Perez pitching for the Astros in the 9th inning. Maybe playing matchup there with Kyle Seager to lead things off. So we'll see how that plays out in the ninth. At safe go, here it's Edward Mujica, veteran, on in relief here. He is pitching now his 47th game this year. 3-4 record, a 4.40 ERA, 45 innings, 47 hits. He has 29 strikeouts and 6 walks.
A lot of all-speed pitches, fastball, 87 and 92 range slider, and split-finger fastball. Throws quite a few, about 35% of his pitches, split-finger fastballs.
Trout has only faced Mujica. Only has one at bat, 0 for 1 with an RBI and a walk. First one is down low.
Mujica this year has allowed 9 home runs, 45 innings pitched.
Picked up in a trade with Boston back on May the 9th. 1-0 off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Mujica, originally in the Cleveland Indians organization, is now 31. Native of Venezuela, pitched for the Indians, Padres, the Marlins, the Cardinals, the Red Sox, and now the Oakland A's. 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Trout tonight, a walk, a strikeout, and a ground out. He's 0 for 2. Pujols on deck. Fouled back. Evens a count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Or did he have a pitch right there to do some damage? You can tell by a reaction to a hitter when he had a pitch to do damage to.
Off the plate, full count. Non-committed fastball away there.
Still waiting to see that little split finger fastball.
Going back outside, it looks like 3-2. Trout just got underneath this one out to right center. 2 down.
And now it's on to the top tier play of the game for Albert Pujols with a big fly to left center field. That's brought to you by Arco. That big swing by Albert. Home run number 38 on the season. Was back in the 6th inning.
One for 3 with that home run. Breaking ball for a strike. Albert 4 for 10 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs against Mujica. Gets underneath this one and pops it up. Canha, the first baseman, drifting into foul territory. Here, the dugout puts it away, and the Angels go down in order here in the 8th. We head to the 9th. It's still tied at 4. One coming up. Coco Crisp, Brian Anderson, and Billy Burns to face Trevor Gott. Came in and got the last out of the 8th inning, getting Simeon to ground into a fielder's choice. After Trevor Gott, it's a pickup in the Angels bullpen. We have no idea, although Matt Latos is here and he is available. Recently released by the Dodgers, signed today by the Angels. That game up in Seattle is now over. Astros winning game 1 of their 3-game series, 3-2. Chris Carter's home run, the difference in that ball game. There's Latos, so maybe he's not available.
I would think not now.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
And the Astros winning on the road.
Yeah.
Last 6 games of the season on the road for the Astros. Win that first one.
Must win for the Angels to stay a half game back of the Astros. Houston picks up a game in the standings in the West. They find themselves a game and a half back of the Rangers now.
And trying to stay ahead of the Minnesota Twins. Also, the Angels here with a win tonight.
Coco fouls this one off. 0-2. What the standings look like currently. Breaking ball. 1-2. Bouncer back up the middle. Ibar can't get there, and leadoff single. 2-hit game for Coco Crisp. He came in as a pinch hitter in the 6th.
Ground ball back up the middle was elevated enough where he was able to punch that right back up the middle. And with his speed, stolen base threat now.
Anderson 1 for 3 today. Leadoff single in the 7th. Coco with 2 stolen bases this year. Anderson showing bunt, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. I mentioned the Oakland A's have done a whole lot of that this year, just 13 this year. Bunts it foul.
Certainly not an easy thing to do. Bunt against Trevor Gott. Movement on his fastball.
Anderson's never executed a sacrifice at the major league level. Looks like they took one shot at it. Now let him swing the bat.
Because there's a possibility then that Coco Crisp is going to try to steal.
Doesn't go. The bunt is perfectly placed on the third base side. The only place to first. Sacrifice advances Crisp into scoring position. Pretty good bunt by Anderson.
But not a lot of experience behind as far as squaring around the bunt. That was a very good bunt. Nice job of deading that baseball. Fastball at 93 with some movement. Stayed down. That was under control with that bunt. That was the key. Not a lot of movement in the bat.
Burns will spin around to hit from the left side. He's 1 for 4 tonight with a single, 2 strikeouts and a ground out.
The way the infield's set up, though, keep an eye on Coco Crisp. Our Guybar is going to move behind him now. If there your look to second.
Ground ball to second base. Giavotella has it. But Crisp did not advance. 2 outs.
No surprise, too. The ball was hit on the ground. He went back to second base. He's trying to get a secondary lead, and then that ball was hit on the ground. He goes back.
I mean, to me, if you're the Angels, you're playing that to first base anyways. You're taking the out.
Exactly. If anything, you would try to force Johnny Giavotella. That's a longer throw for Johnny.
So 2 outs. Go ahead run in scoring position. Here's Canna. 0 for 3 tonight. Was hit by a pitch back in the first as well. Fastball just off the plate. Sean Doolittle's been loosening for Oakland. The Angels in the bottom of the ninth have Crone, Freese, and Victorino. Chris sets up back outside. Couple of glances back. Chopper to the left side. David Freese cuts it off. Across the diamond it goes. Foot stays on the bag. We will head to the bottom of the ninth. C.J. Crone will lead things off for the Angels. We are tied at 4. Things off as Edward Mujica's back out on the mound. We've got the last 2 outs of the 8th inning. CJ 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a fly ball to left. The old backup breaking ball for a strike on the inside corner.
That extremely hittable. You never get the baseball back up slider most times. See, that's a product because of that pitch before you felt you missed it. You expand your strike zone and chase a off-speed pitch well out of the strike zone.
This is line to center field. Talk about a 2-strike approach. Upstairs with a fastball, and the leadoff man is on board.
It's a 3-hit performance for C.J. Crone. What an adjustment he made on that pitch.
Colin Cowgill will come out the pinch run for him, representing the winning run.
David Freese coming up played on Saturday. Cut fastball. Thigh high, went yard, walk off the dead center field against Seattle. Freese continues to come up big in those big moments.
Freese tonight 0 for 1, a strikeout and a couple of walks. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Freese against Mujica 1 for 6. Former Cardinal teammate. Oh, 2. Victorino on deck. Calgill, the base runner at first. Pretty good lead for him. 0-2 now. Freese fouls it off. Calgill takes off. The pitch is fouled off. Boy, Colin had a pretty good jump. Pretty good pitch for Freese. A little bit up. Caught the zone, though.
But out over the plate. That's what he drives very well. He's had a tough time with pitches down below strike zone, but a big jump. Like Calgill, Mujica has allowed 6 stolen bases in 7 attempts.
2 bags for Calgill this year. He's been caught once. Pinch running for Crone, who led off this 9th inning with a base hit. Colin doesn't go, and Freese dribbles this one up the third base line. Mujica barehands it and throws it wildly. Goes off of Freese. Calgill on his way to third. Dead ball as it rolls into the camera well. Freese gets second base. There's nobody out, and the winning run standing at third.
Such a tough play is for a first baseman. That throw, Mujica had no choice but to try to use that bare hand and throw that throw, and it sailed in to David Freese at first base. This off the end of the bat, just making contact. And Mujica all in one motion. And the play unable to be made at first. And he's staying within that boundary. Freese is. Hit the ball right in his back. If he's inside that line, you can call interference and call him out.
It's an error on Mujica. I would imagine, would you not walk Victorino here if you are the Oakland A's with nobody out? Load him up, get a force out situation anywhere?
Yeah, force at any base at that point.
And there's the intentional walk coming. It's not a hit for Freese. It's an error all the way. I thought it'd be a hit and an error.
Yeah, because that's a tough play for a pitcher. You got to use your bare hand on that one and throw it. It's a difficult, long throw.
And there's ball 4. Chris Ionetta's due up.
So David Murphy's going to pinch hit.
They had Doolittle getting ready in the bullpen.
Melvin will go down to the bullpen.
Yeah. I mean, no secret. They certainly took enough time to make that decision. You knew a pitching change was forthcoming. It's Abad, not Doolittle. Pitching change. We're in the ninth. Bases loaded with nobody out. It's a 4-4 tie. This inning with a base hit to center. David Freese, little swinging bunt, forcing Mojica to fire to first and hit David. The error put runners at second and third. Victorino was intentionally walked, and that's why the bases are loaded. And with David Murphy being announced as the pinch hitter for Chris Iannetta, Fernando Abad gets called upon by Bob Melvin. 61st game, 2-2 record, a 4.24 ERA. Murphy is just 0 for 1 in his career against Abad.
Yeah, Abad can be wild at times. 19 walks in 46 and 2/3 innings pitched, including 4 wild pitches.
Infield will play in, is my assumption. The outfield as well. At least midway. Here's a look at the defensive alignment. The only runner that matters is Colin Cowgill, standing at third. Abad ready, infield in, first pitch, up and away, ball 1. And not a bad pitch either, according to Fox Tracks. Texas lost, Houston won, Minnesota won. The Angels needing a win to stay a half game back of the Astros. Here's the 1-0, outside, 2-0. Crisp, very shallow and left and toward the foul line. Burns and Reddick both very shallow in center and right respectively. Cowgill able to get a big lead from third base. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Murphy takes a strike, 2-1.
It's a good decision though. Force him to throw another one in that same spot.
The win would give the Angels a 6-game winning streak and 2 back in the West. A 2-1 pitch. Murphy reaches for this one, fouls it back. Evens a count of 2-2.
Would help him out on that one too. A little bit out of the strike zone. And you might see a breaking ball right now, so you got to be ready if you're Cowgill with third if this ball is bouncing the dirt.
Bob with the side sets. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Murphy lifts one foul down the left field line and out of play.
He went with a fastball there. Pretty hittable fastball.
Anderson back outside, 2-2, shot past Simeon, drive, home, safely! Halos walk off on the Athletics, 5-4 the final.
Boy, what a great scene that is for David Murphy. Stayed back on that pitch, outer part of the plate, and shot that by Simeon at shortstop for the game-winning walk-off base hit for David Murphy, who's been swinging the bat very, very well for the Halos in this last month and a half or so. Big swing, big moment once again for David Murphy, and the Angels win another one-run game.
And they keep it, Gooby, within 9 innings. We didn't know who was going to come out after the 9th inning, although it looked like Cesar Ramos was getting ready. The walk-off hit by David Murphy.
This is a great approach.
Yeah.
We talked about that a lot. Didn't try to do too much. Just threw his hands right at the baseball. What a perfect swing for Murphy to come through with a clutch single. All started on an 0-2 base hit by C.J. Cron. Look at that swing. Perfect, level, wanting to make contact, does so, wins the game on that swing by David Murphy.
6th consecutive win for the Angels, now 2 back of the division-leading Texas Rangers, and they remain a half game back of the Houston Astros. Minnesota remains a game behind the Angels. Let's go to the hero tonight, David Murphy. Second walk-off hit. He's with Alex Curry.
David, this team continues to find ways to win right now, especially big games, keeping it exciting. Are you guys just having a blast right now with this much on the line?
We're having fun. We're just getting hot at the right time. And, we're battling every single night. So we just need to take it in tomorrow.
And when you're coming in to pinch hit with bases loaded, the season on the line, what's your approach in that situation?
There's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of things you can do to get that run in. So just relax, try to see the ball deep, and just put a good swing on the ball.
And a big help for this team has been the bullpen. They've come through to hold you guys and save you guys. What have they meant to this team right now?
They've been huge, especially with Houston and Joe down. It's not an easy task, but they've all been grinding out there. They've been doing a great job.
Congratulations on the big win. Let's keep it rolling.
Thank you.
The Angels make it 6 straight wins here, keeping those postseason dreams alive, winning for a final of 5-4. All thanks to David Murphy's pinch hit walk-off RBI. Stick around for Angels Live with Kent French, Jose Mota, and Tim Salmon next.